All right, guys, so we're going to go over your study guide. So hopefully you've already got all the answers to these questions. So number one, we're going to line up those decimals, 87.53 or 52 plus 13.1. We can fill up any gaps with zeros. So we're going to add straight down. And we get 100.62 for number one. Number two, we're going to line up our decimals. If you don't see a decimal, it's sitting at the end. So from it, we're subtracting 43.2. So 0, this becomes a 10. This becomes a 5. 5 minus 3 is 2. And 13 minus 4 is 9. So number two is 92.8 or 92.80. Number three, we're putting 81.25 in the box. 2.5 outside the box, which means we're going to move our decimal one place to the right. Inside the decimal, one place to the right. So we're going to bring that decimal straight up. So let me get rid of our original decimals. So that was 25 now. All right, so how many times will 25 go into 81? That would be twice, actually 3 times. Let me get my eraser. So that would be 3 times, so 3 quarters is 75 cents, right? So when I subtract 11 minus 5 is 6, I get a remainder of 6, bring down my 2. 25 will go into 62 twice. 2 quarters equals 50 cents. When I subtract, I get a remainder of 12. I better plug up my laptop. All right, so I bring down the 5 and 25, or how many quarters makes up $1.25? That would be exactly 5. So number 3 is 32.5. 32.5. All right, number 4, we have 42.13 times 21.4. 21.4. We're going to ignore our decimals until we're done with the multiplication. So 3 times 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. We have 8 and 16. Then to go to the second line, we add a 0. So we have 3, 1, 2, 4. To get to the 2, we're going to add 2 zeros. So 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. And 2 times 4 is 8. So when I add, 15, 11, 9. All right, so we have a total of 1, 2, 3 numbers behind the decimal. 1, 2, 3. So our final answer is 901.582. I hope you guys got the same answer. Hopefully you did. All right, number 5. Find the greatest common factor of 24 and 48. So greatest common factor, let's write it right here, 24 and 48. So greatest common factor, let's do one of these upside down division things, or ladder method is what it's called. All right, so if I divide them both by 2, I get 12 and 24. I can divide them both by 2 again. And I get 6 and 12. Divide them both by 2 again. I get 3 and 6. And divide them both by 3. And I get 1 and 2. All right, 1 and 2 have no common factors besides 1. So now I'm going to multiply 2 times 2 times 3. So 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And 8 times 3 is 24. So the greatest common factor of 24 and 48 is 24. All right, now the next one, number 6, we want to find the least common multiple. So I could do the ladder method, or since these numbers are pretty small, let's just list the multiples of 4. So 4, 8, 12, 16, so on and so forth. 12 times 1 is 12. 12 times 2 is 24. Oh, I can already stop, right? Because I see the smallest multiple of 4 and 12 is in fact 12. That's it. All right, number 7. Let me clear all of this. So number 7, Monica has 10.5 ounces of chocolate chips. She needs 2 1/4 ounces to make 1 batch of cookies. How many batches of cookies can she make? So we are dividing 10.5 by 2 1/4. So in order to divide mixed numbers, we have to turn them into improper fractions. So we're going to go around the world. 10 times 2 is 20, plus 1 is 21 halves. And then we're going to do around the world. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9/4. And now we're ready to keep it, change it, flip it. And now I know I can simplify diagonally. I can divide 4 and 2 by 2. I get 1 and 2. I can divide 21 and 9 by 3. So 21 divided by 3 is 7. 9 divided by 3 is 3. So when I multiply straight across, 7 times 2 is 14. 1 times 3 is 3. And I know that 3 will go into 14 4 times with 2 left over. And my denominator stays at 3. So the question is, how many full batches of cookies can she make? She can't quite make 5 batches, but she can make 4 batches. So 4 2/3 batches of cookies. All right, so that's our answer. All right, number 8. I hope you guys are getting the same answers as I am. Number 8, which expression shows the greatest common factor of 36 and 12? So let's look at our answers. So letter A, I know that 6 and 12 both have a common factor. So this one, 3 is not the greatest common factor. I know on letter B that 18 and 6 still have a common factor. So 2 cannot be the greatest common factor. But let's look at C. Let's see. C and D both pull out of 12. So if I divide 36 by 12, I get 3. And if I divide 12 by 12, I get 1. So I know if I pull out a 12, I should get, in parentheses, 3 plus 1. So C is the best answer. All right, number 9. Joey has 40 silly bands and 12 pieces of gum for his friends. He wants to give them each the same number of silly bands and gum. What is the greatest number of friends Joey can evenly divide the silly bands and the gum among? So if he has 40 silly bands and 12 pieces of gum, basically we're looking for the greatest common factor. We want to know the greatest number of friends he can evenly divide the silly bands and the gum between. So let's just do the ladder method. These are even numbers, so I can divide them both by 2. So I get 20 and 6. Well, I can divide them both by 2 again, and I can get 10 and 3. 10 and 3 have no common factors besides 1. So I'm going to multiply 2 times 2. So the greatest number of friends he can evenly divide the silly bands and gum among is 4. 4 friends would get 20 silly bands and 6 pieces of gum. All right, let's look at number 10. Number 10. What is the total weight of the fish caught? So basically, we're going to add together all of the fish. So we're going to add 5.6, 4.3, 4.1, and 3.85. So since we have another digit, we're going to fill in with zeros. So 0 plus 5 is 5. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12 plus 6 is 18. Carry the 1. 10, 14, 17. So the answer is 17.85 pounds of fish. LBS means pounds. How many more pounds does Al's fish need to reach 5 pounds? So basically we're going to take 5 and from it we're subtracting 3.85. So I'm going to fill in my missing spaces with zeros. That'll help me remember I got to borrow. So this becomes a 10, this becomes a 9, and this becomes a 4. So 10 minus 5 is 5, 9 minus 8 is 1, and 4 minus 3 is 1. So the answer is 1.15 pounds Al's needs in order to reach 5 pounds. All right, let's take a look at number 12. Marcus has a stamp collection of 425 stamps. He wants to put the stamps into an album. 17 stamps fit on one page. How many pages must he have? Well, we're going to divide 425 stamps into or by 17 at a time. All right, so how many times would 17 go into 42? It won't go into 4, so 42. What if we said 3? I think 3 is going to be too much. Let's try a 2. 2 times 7 is 14. Carry the 1. 4 times 2 is 2, plus 1 is 3. And when I subtract, I get 8. 8's a good remainder. It's less than 17. I bring down my 5. How many times would 17 go into 85? Maybe, what, 4 times? I think 4 times. 4 times 7 is 28. Carry the 2. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 2 is 6. So this becomes a 7, and this becomes a, it's not enough. So my 4 is too small. So let me get rid of my 4 and make it a, whoops, I didn't mean to do that. Let me make my 4 a 5. All right, so when I subtracted, I got, all right, so let's make it a 5. 5 times 7 is 35. Carry the 3. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 3 is 8, with a remainder of 0. So how many pages must his album have? 25 pages. And that's the answer. 25 pages, and all of the stamps will fit. All right, guys. I hope you're doing well. Hope you're getting all these answers correct. Number 13, Jerry has 9 pounds of cement. It takes 3/5 of 1 pound to make a cement block. How many blocks can Jerry make? So basically, we're going to divide 9 pounds by 3/5 of a pound and see how many blocks he can make. All right, so we're going to do 9 over 1. So we're going to keep it, change it, flip it. All right, so if we simplify before we multiply, we can divide 3 and 9 by 3. 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And 3 times 5 is 15. He can make 15 blocks out of 9 pounds of cement. 15 blocks. All right, number 14. Jared has downloaded 1,204 songs on his iPhone. He wants to organize the phones into 14 equal folders. How many songs would Jared have in each folder? So we're going to take all 1,204, all 1,204 songs. We're going to divide them into groups of 14. So 14 won't go into 1, it won't go into 12, but it will go into 120 about, let's say 9 times, maybe. 9 times 4 is 36, carry the 3. 9 times 1 is 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh no, 9 is too much. So I got to go down to an 8. So my 9 was too big. I have to go down to an 8. 8 times 4 is 32. 8 times 1 is 8, 9, 10, 11. And when I subtract, I get a remainder of 8. And then I bring down my 4. So how many times will 14 go into 84? Let's see. What about 6? Let's try a 6. 6 times 4 is 24. Carry the 2. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 2 is 8. I have a remainder of 0, so that means there will be 86 songs in each of the 14 folders. 86 songs. Number 15. Miss Tate asked students to find the least common multiple of 12 and 18. So Jack said the answer is 6. Logan said the answer is 36. So let's find the least common multiple. So multiples are big numbers, right? So if I start by using the ladder method, I can divide both of these numbers by 2, and I get 6 and 9. I know 6 and 9 are both divisible by 3. So here I would get what number times 3 is 6, and what number times 3 is 9. So to find the least common, so first of all, the least common factor would be 6, but we aren't looking for factors. We're looking for multiples. Multiples are big numbers, right? That means we're going to multiply all 4 of these numbers. So 6 times 6 is actually 36. So Logan is correct. So it says be sure who is correct. So we would say Logan is correct. Logan is correct. And then, guys, when you're answering questions on the test, you want to over-explain rather than under-explain. So I'm not going to write all of this down, but I would say if I was answering on a test, I would say Logan is correct, and I would say because, and I would show my work. And then I would say the reason that Jack is incorrect is because Jack actually found the greatest common factor. So like I said, you want to say more than enough than not enough, okay? Logan is correct because of this work here. Jack is incorrect because he actually found the greatest common factor. All right, let's look at what I believe is almost the last question. We're getting close. The total weight of a Target basket is 5.15 pounds. The weights of the items are listed below. There are 4 pumpkins that weigh 0.8 pounds each, 5 candles that weigh 0.13 pounds each, 1 basket that weighs half a pound, and 1 bag of candy corn that is an undetermined amount of weight. So they let a variable represent the weight of the candy corn. All right, so here's the step 1. Someone figured out that 4 pumpkins that weigh 0.8 pounds each is 3.2 pounds. 5 candles that weigh 13 pounds each is a total of 6.5 pounds. Then we add the weight of the basket, it looks like. And then the total amount of candy corn would be all of these numbers together, taken away from 5.15 pounds. Okay. So the question is, which step contains an error in the work? So it looks like the first answer is right. 4 pumpkins that weigh 0.8 pounds each will be 3.2 pounds. That's right. And then 5 candles. Here's the problem, you guys. Step 2, they didn't put 2 numbers behind the decimal. So step 2, the actual weight should be 0.65. So here we find the error, right? All right, so I believe it's in step 2. Step 2 is incorrect because they put the decimal in the wrong place. I agree with that answer. Step 2 is incorrect because they set the problem up correctly. That's not the problem. The problem is they put the decimal in the wrong place in the solution. All right, and then let's get rid of this. Number 17 says, which explanation needs to go with step 3? So on step 3, they took the total number, the weight of the pumpkins, plus the correct weight of the candles, and they added the weight of the basket. So that's what step 3 should say. So let's look at our choices. I added the weight of 1 pumpkin. Nope, we have 4 pumpkins. So A is not right. I added the weight of all the pumpkins, the candles, and the basket. That looks right. So B is the correct answer because we know there were 4 pumpkins, which means C, incorrect. I added the weights of all the pumpkins and candles. D says, but they left out the basket. So the correct answer is B. Correct answer is B. All right, guys, I think that's it. So if you did well on this study guide, that means you're going to do well on the test tomorrow or whenever it is. I'll have to, yeah, I think it's whichever day it is for your particular class. All right, guys, well, thank you for following along, and let me know if you have any questions, and I will talk to you guys soon. Have a great day.